Hey everyone, I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Welcome to the best U.S. Mint news channel on YouTube. Well, at least it is in my opinion. It might be yours. Today's date is the 16th of November, 2025, and in this video, well, we're talking about the Lincoln cent, but not just the Lincoln cent. There's some other stuff going on too that I want to share with you, but mostly the Lincoln cent. But before any of that, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new here, please subscribe, or you're a returning viewer and haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subs. We're almost there, and we can do it with your help. And we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now let's go to moneymetals.com so I can show you where those live spot prices end of the week. All right, gold now stands at $40.9825, silver at $50.78, platinum at $15.53, even Steven, palladium to $14.2295, and Dr. Copper at $5.06 per pound. Down here, you're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $9.49 for a quantity of 1 through 39. They ask that you pay $60.27. Now, the buyback, that's a sell-to-them price, is $51.78. That's $1 above the silver spot. What we typically see is $1.20, so it's a little bit lower than what we would normally see. All right, over here, look at this. This is the Federal Register. Got an announcement for you, and that's going to be a meeting, and that's going to be on the 18th of November. That's in, 2 short days from now. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's remote via video conference, but you can find it right here on YouTube, right there, and it's a CCAC meeting, and I got to tell you what they're going to be looking at right here. All right, subject, review and discussion of the Shirley Chisholm Congressional Gold Medal Design Portfolio. Okay, review and discussion. Here we go. This is the big stuff right here. 2027 and 2028 Native American dollar coin reverse design portfolios. Review and discussion of the obverse design. What? Yeah, obverse design portfolios for the 2027 and through 2030 American Youth Sport quarters. Yeah, the obverse. So what image of Washington are they going to put on there? And Paralympic half dollars. So we're going to be looking at the new obverses for the half dollar and the quarters, and potential review, there we go, and discussion of the obverse and reverse candidate designs for the 2026 semi-quincentennial $1 coin. And if you look at all of these, you got 27, 28, 27 through 30, and then you've got one for 2026, and it's only just a potential review, which makes you wonder, why is the one that's absolutely the closest to us, because we're a month and a half from 2026 and celebrating the semi-quincentennial, and they haven't figured it out yet? Makes you really wonder what's going on over there. Not sure, but I will be watching this. This is a really big deal. And it's for the future of our quarters and our half dollars. And I hope they have enough time to go over and review and discuss that semi-quincentennial $1 coin. That's going to be fantastic. Fantabulous. All right, let's keep on keeping on. There it is. That's the penny. Some people call it a cent. Some people call it a penny. And there's a lot of discussion about that, sometimes in the comments. And it is a penny, according to Learn Coin and Metal Archive, circulating coins, the penny over there at the United States Mint website. Yeah. And that's the way it is. Now, over here, let's keep going. Yeah, looks like this is the top. So I showed you this yesterday. Now there's only 9.5 hours left to purchase this particular card. And it does feature a relic of the 2025. And it looks like it could be a, well, let me see. I think I pressed the wrong button there. Let me go to the next one. Yep, there we go. It looks like that one's going to be a Denver, not a Philadelphia. And then you got this relic as a 1793 flowing hair large cent. Yeah, that's quite something. And that's about a $3,000, $4,000 coin right there. So that's amazing. And if you do pick one of those up, congratulations to you. Now there's 4 different product types, 1 card at $8.99, 5 cards at $34.99, 10 cards at $59.99, and 20 cards, that's $5 per card at $99.99. And I think if you sign up for this, they'll give you a $10 coupon, or you can go to Fanatics and buy it there as well. Now let's keep on keeping on. This is the, I guess, Philadelphia. This is the place where they struck the last penny, and they asked the question here on this particular article by Victor Ferrillo from 11/13/2025, just 3 days ago now. Is the last penny really worth $5 million? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. But you know that this is going to be auctioned off, right? These last 5 pennies. And I tell you, whatever time I see the picture of the treasurer holding these Lincoln cents, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know, he didn't even hold it by the edge. Yeah, because if you don't wear gloves, yeah, you could hold it by the edge. I get it. There's 3 sides to a coin, the obverse, reverse, and then the edge right there. That's that third piece right there. But he's not doing it. In fact, he's even covering up the omega on there. The omega, you might ask? Well, they put an omega on there. What is omega? Let me go ahead and show you. Alpha and Omega, and it's actually really, it's part of the Greek alphabet, right? Alpha and Omega are the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet and a title of Christ or God in the book of Revelation. This pair of letters is used as a Christian symbol and often combined with the cross or Chi Rho, the other Christian symbols. And it's talking about, there they are, the Alpha and the Omega, the Chi Rho there, and then the Alpha Omega there on stained glass. And there it is again, all three, the Chi Rho, the Alpha, and the Omega. You had to learn that in college when I joined the fraternity Omega Delta Chi. Yeah, that was mine. We were the Omegas. All right, let's keep on keeping on. I want to show you this particular article. It says, get a compelling long read and must have, okay, wait. One Philly area numismatist has serious doubts. All right, they've got a serious doubt if it's worth $5 million. Now it says here, Treasurer of the United States, Brandon Beach, holds the last penny stamped at the U.S. Mint on November 12, 2025 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Beach pressed the final penny, looks like he pressed them between his thumb and his forefinger, pressed the final pennies at an event held at their facility in Pennsylvania there. The pennies pressed bear a special Omega and will not be put in circulation, but will be auctioned off. And I would imagine, like I said in that first video when we learned about this, it'll probably be headed over to Stack's Bowers. And it'll be really wild to see how much that one sells for. But not only that, what the grades of these final 5 pennies will be. But here's the question. Are they really the 5 last pennies? Yeah, kinda. For circulation, yes. However, numismatists will be thrilled to know that they will be Lincoln cents in 2026. But here's the kicker. We don't know if it's going to be in the uncirculated mint set. I think it will be. And we don't know if it's going to be in the other annual sets for the silver proof set or the proof set. But I think it will. I think the pennies will continue on and go, into the future until who knows when. But I think they will be available. And some people might be like, especially who's not in the numismatic community or not into coin collecting, if you show them a 2026 penny, they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. I thought they got rid of these. And then you're like, yeah, but here's one here. Well, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So I imagine there'll be some confusion out there. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Is the last penny really worth $5 million at auction? Well, news quickly spread worldwide yesterday that the United States Mint in Philadelphia, the first mint in the country, was producing the last pennies ever on Wednesday after Donald Trump ordered them to be discontinued. And remember, I do believe that the link, besides the Lincoln cent, it will be the Jefferson nickel being next that the president orders to be discontinued, right? Delete the nickel too, all right? And that could be a slippery slope to getting to digital transactions. Yeah, we could see digital money here in the near future if they keep getting rid of all of our circulating coins. All right, it says here, news cameras came, period. Treasurer of the United States, Brandon Beach, showed up to give the lowly, unwanted penny a proper send-off. And I don't know. Some people don't like the penny. I love the penny. It was the first coin I ever started collecting. And we're going to show you an article from Numismatic News, the typesets of all the different cents there are in American circulating coin history. So, and there's like 6 of them from just the Lincoln cents. They're part of a typeset. You can't go wrong with this particular article. Let me keep on keeping on though. All right, the unwanted penny, a proper send-off. So what happens to the last penny ever minted in the country? The one that Beach held up for the cameras? Well, it turns out that 5 final pennies made in Philadelphia were minted with a special Omega mark on them. They'll remain uncirculated, and go up for auction. That means they're not going to be put out in the wild, and go up for auction by the government at some unspecified time in the near future. Details on that to come. Meanwhile, it begs the question, what will those pennies be worth? Now, here we go. This is ridiculous. And I'd like to find out from you in the comments below what these pennies will be selling for. I think it'll be in the hundreds of thousands. I don't think it's going to be in the millions, not even close. All right, some estimates out there put the auction value of each of the 5 pennies at anywhere from $2 million to $5 million, with the very last of the last pennies possibly hitting that $5 million mark. Boy, that's a lot of simoleons. All right, and there's also the possibility that some obsessed collectors will be willing to pay even more if they could obtain all 5, because why would you want just one when you could hoard all of them like a good capitalist? Oh, I think we just showed our true colors there, didn't we? Huh. I tell you, everything is so biased anymore. It's ridiculous. Can't we just all get along there? Philadelphia area numismatist Richard Weaver, however, has his doubts. Weaver, one of Brumal's Delaware Valley Rare Coin Company and first guy in the modern times to come across a 1943 antimony Lincoln cent, and the only 1786 New Jersey 3-pound colonial note known to exist, opines that some of the estimates out there are likely to be overblown. And Beach himself, Weaver notes, may have devalued the last penny. That's what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of you said the same thing. They said the same thing, that he just fingered that coin. Yeah, he sure did. If you look at that photo, he's holding the penny with his fingers on the coin. Yeah, Weaver told me, his voice tinged with incredulity. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. You just don't do that. Copper is very reactive to sweat and the oils of the skin, and any serious collector is going to take this photo into consideration. Yeah, I don't think they're worth $5 million or 2 million or whatever. On top of that, Weaver adds he doesn't consider the last 5 pennies to be true collector's dream. Yes, there are a lot. Wait, here we start over. Yes, there are only 5 of them in existence, which might suggest rarity to us laypeople, but Weaver's not fully buying it. You see, they were made for this purpose, he explains. They were made to be rare. Yeah, so that's the faux, yeah, right, fake rarity. When you see people paying in the millions for coins, they are paying for the coins that are 100 or 200 years old, of which only a handful are known to exist and that have survived for so many years without anyone making them for that purpose in 1933 or 1794. Then again, he admits it's not easy to know what's going to happen at an auction, particularly with a coin that has produced such big headlines. Yeah, that's right. It is a big headline, but I really don't think it's going to be 2 to 5. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It says that one thing that is hard to predict with something like this is ego. Absolutely. You can find that on eBay too. Sometimes you'll see an auction that ends at an incredible price just because somebody had to have it and they were getting outbidded, and somebody's like, yeah, well, I got more jack than you do, and then jack up the price remarkably. Weaver says with a chuckle, and there are a lot of egos out there this day. Little cheap shots out there. Boy, I tell you, just can't we get along? All right, here we go. Let's go to the photographs here. This is the penny in question, and yeah, he's not touching it by that third part of the coin. The edge, he's touching the obverse and the reverse with, hopefully he had clean fingers, right? I mean, because look, some coins, you don't want to hold with gloves. Maybe they're slippery, so you make sure that your hands are clean, freshly cleaned, no oils on them, because that's just the way it is. Some coins cannot be held by gloves. That's the name of the game, and you might want to make sure that you have clean hands. And I don't know that he did, but because he's in a mint facility, I don't know how clean they keep it, but there it is. That's brutal. And check this out. There's another one. Look at the die for this. You can see the Omega there, the 2025, and that is a Philadelphia strike. And you can see the Omega just there. I did show you what the Omega looks like right there on this particular article, Alpha and Omega. And I will actually, oh goodness, I think let me go back twice, one more. Yeah, there's the Greek alphabet. I will leave this link in the description below for you, and it talks about all of the Greek letters, and you got the alpha and the omega right at the very end, and there's a lowercase omega right there. So check that out. Now we're going to keep on keeping on. This is a fantastic article I found from 2018, from November 29, 2018, by the Coins Magazine staff. From numismaticnews.net, says collect all 17 cent types. What? Yeah, all 17. But check this out. I'm going to go here to PCGS. I want to show you something here. All right, let's go to, we'll go to Lincoln cent, okay, wheat reverse, 1909 to 1958, and then we'll go Lincoln cent modern, 1959 to date. All right, here we go. Type 1, all right, of the Lincoln cent is that wheat reverse. All right, let me keep on keeping on. We're going to hopefully show you what's going on here. Oh, and by the way, the most valuable Lincoln cent that's not an error or anything like that is a 1926S. So if you ever get a 1926S, yeah, Scora right there. Look at this, 1926S, not a brown, but in a red. Look at that. Bam! In a mid-state 65, baby. It's a $125,000 coin. Oh, yeah! A mid-state 65. And there's nothing special about this. It's rare, super duper rare. And imagine if you went back in time, if you had a time machine, you'd probably pick up about a whole box of those bad boys and sell them off one at a time. And not ruin the market for yourself. But yeah, $125,000 for a mid-state 65 red. That's a remarkable amount of money for a Lincoln cent. And we're not talking like a double die or, DDOs or anything of that nature. So we're still in the type 1 wheat reverse. All right. And I'm going to show you here. Now, there's the Type 2. That's the steel from 1943, right? D over D, the bronze, unique. All right, there's all of them. So we got up to Type 2, all right? Type 2, 1 and then 2. So, and this is an easy way to find out what's what in these particular typesets. Now, this is Lincoln Set Modern Price Guide. There we go. Type 3, the Memorial Reverse right there. Look at that, Type 3. We have 3 more to talk about here, all right? So that's Memorial. You know what was after the Memorial, right? All right, look at this. Bingo. Where are you going? Look at that. Yeah. Type 4, Memorial Reverse Zinken. Yeah, that's the Zinken cent right there. The other ones were copper, right? Or bronze, whatever you like to call it. The reversible or interchangeable, rather. That's the Type 4 Memorial Reverse with Zinken cents, and those started in 1982. And there should be 8 coins that year. However, there's 7. But the 8th one, if you can find it, is worth a good bit of money. I wonder if they even have that on here. The 8. Let's see. It starts here. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. Get into the weeds there. Type 4. And then here we're going to go to Type 5 here soon. That's going to be right there. Type 5, the bicentennial mint states, right? Lincoln, early childhood, formative years, professional life, and presidency, right there. That's Type 5. And then Type 6 is the shield reverse that was designed by the current mint, I guess the head chief engraver, Joseph Mena. He did the shield cent right there. So that's all 6 types of the Lincoln cent right there, 6 types. Now let's go back to this article. Collect all 17. So yeah, there's 6 there, but what are the other ones, right? What are the other 11? Well, this article is going to help us figure that out, all right? This is by Coins Magazine staff. Like I said, November 29, 2018. I had to do some digging here, and I did tell you that I was going to hold off on this particular Lincoln cent or penny information until I got some good information here. So this is pretty solid. It says here, how do you feel about the lowly cent? Yeah, that's the way that they've been talking about this coin for quite some time. It is a coin you have so little use for that you won't stoop to pick one up from the ground. Well, I do. I do. Is it a coin? They're asking a question. I'm sorry. Is it a coin that you have so little use for that you won't stoop to pluck one up from the ground? I will. Will you? Yeah, I think you will. After all, a cent by itself won't buy anything anymore, and I suspect most people just throw any they acquire into a large jar as soon as they get home. And maybe take a penny, give a penny, right? Should the U.S. continue to mint billions of cents just to keep the mint employees active, or should the U.S. terminate the denomination that, for a good while now, costs more to produce than its face value? So this is from 2018. That's almost 10 years ago now, and they've been talking about this since easily 1974, right, when they started talking about different types of metal to use in the Lincoln cent. It says here, of course, these are questions for the general public, not for the coin collector. Most coin collectors probably want to see the denomination continue, absolutely. And like it says, they will be given to numismatists and collectors going forward in 2026. That'll be spectacular, as it gives them more to collect. And that leads to another question. How should you collect U.S. cents? That's a great question. As you've undoubtedly learned, there are many different ways that you can collect coins. For 20th and 21st century coins not made of gold, people often try to obtain one of each date and mint mark combination. For earlier coins, a type approach is typically taken. Absolutely. And, you know, one Lincoln cent that they don't really say that's a type, and it's not. It's part of the Zinken cent collection, but that's going to be the 2017 Philadelphia struck with the Philadelphia mint mark on it, and the 2019 Lincoln cent with the W mint mark on it. Those in high grades are worth, really good money. I myself am kicking myself. I had about 20 of those. 20, and I did sell them off at auction for not that much money. Anyway, no regrets, right? No regrets. Anyway, let's keep on keeping on. It says here, in this latter approach right here, right, the type approach, the collector tries to secure one of each major design type rather than tackling the coins by date and mint mark. This reason is obvious. It's cheaper. It's less expensive, right? Many of the earlier series contain dates that are scarce to rare with prices to match. In this article, I'm going to discuss a type collection for U.S. cents, as you'll see. And listen, here's the question, right? Now that the penny's demise or discontinuation is happening, don't you think pennies in general are going to get more expensive, right? I think so. In this article, I'm going to discuss a type collection of U.S. cents. As you'll see, the very earliest cents are both scarce and pricey. Assuming you'll have a good but not unlimited budget, let's see what you can reasonably expect to acquire in the way of cent types. Most of the types are taken from Ron Guth and Jeff Garrett's United States a coinage by study type. Look at this. You see here this? Liberty 1793. Does that not look familiar? A little bit, right? 1793. Yeah, flowing hair, large scent. I don't know if they're this. Let's go zoom in. Oh, I keep doing that, don't I? Let me scoot over. Yeah, scooch over. There you go. And let's go back to that one. It doesn't look the same, identical. This one looks more red than anything, right? Bam. All right, let's keep on keeping. I don't even think there. Let's see here. Designed by Henry Voigt, the first 1793 large scent with flowing hair. With the chain reverse met criticism, as many felt the chain represented slavery. Right there. That's pretty heavy duty. Didn't know that. Yeah, so here we go. 1793 large cent flowing hair chain reverse. See, I like modern coins, but that's me. Designed by Henry Voigt, the first cent had a mintage of 36,103 pieces, according to Guth and Garrett. Because of their low relief detail, the 1793 chain cents fared poorly in circulation. In other words, they didn't last long in any kind of decent shape. Given the values in the Numismatic News coin market, that's CM, this is one type coin most collectors will have to bypass. The most common in variety, with America spelled on the out of the reverse, lists for 2,908, about good 3, on its way to 150,000 in mint state 60. A coin G4, if you can find it, should cost around $5,600. That's a good bit of money, right? Now, I think this is the one they're going to be looking at. Nope. Let's see. Here we go. I got ahead of myself. One on eBay, here it says here, I found more than 40 examples listed. Even in P01, the lowest possible grade, the buy now prices were close to $2,000 for coins with virtually no detail other than a few links on the chain on the reverse. Alternatively, you could purchase an uncirculated imitation chain cent for about $30. All right, there you go. That's the one. Look at that line across it there. And number 2, that's the large cent flowing hair wreath reverse. All right, let's keep on keeping on. The number 3 is the 1793, the Liberty Cap large cents. Does that one have the Liberty Cap on the back? I can't even see. No, it doesn't have it there. Can't even compare that actually. Okay, Liberty Cap large cents, mintage of 1.5 million. I'm going to keep on keeping on. Here's an 1803, 1796 to 1807 draped bust, large cents right there. That's number 4. And I'm going to keep going because it looks like I'm going to reach a half hour if I don't keep my mouth shut here. All right, 1808 to 1814, classic heads, large cent facing left right there. Once again, there are several different dates and varieties. Which is good news for the type collector. Total mintage for the type approaches 5 million pieces, all right? So that's good for the collector and not too expensive, not as expensive as the other ones, right? In a mint state 60, you're not paying 150,000, you're paying 8,500. Here you go, number 6, it's the matron head, large cent, and you can probably, and I will leave a link in the description for this particular page so that you can keep it and use it as a reference. I think it's probably genius. It says here, CM calls this the coronet cent. No matter what it's called, we've reached the inexpensive cents for our type set. The total mintage of all dates and varieties are close to 63 million. This type was designed by either Robert Scott or John Reich, according to a guidebook for the United States coins, aka the Red Book. On the obverse, Liberty's head is smaller than on the previous type, and her hair is now in a bun. There's a wreath on the reverse right there as before. And it says here you can pick these up $290 in a mint state 60. It's probably more than that now since this is almost a 10-year-old article. 1839 to 1857, that's the 7th type right here. That's the braided hair large cent. If you have a large cent in your collection, it's probably one of these. As nearly 71 million were produced. And it says here, a mint state 70, yeah, G4 to 190 in a mint state 60, right? So it seems like it's, look, if you spend all that money, if you spent $2 million or $5 million on a Lincoln cent, you could put all 17 of these types together, I would imagine, quite easily, right? Number 8, the Flying Eagle small cent. And I do believe that some of these cents are going to be, especially maybe, I think the Indian head cent, I think that's going to be probably really a winner chicken dinner after we discontinue the penny. But this is the Flying Eagle small cent, designed by James B. Longacre. This is the first of the small cents introduced because, that's right, the first small cents, because the price of copper had risen to the point at which it cost more than a cent to mint a cent. Looks like we're at the same area now, right, in the history books. Nickel was added to the alloy to make the coin stronger and more resistant to wear. The obverse shows an eagle in flight to the left. The reverse, a wreath made of corn, cotton, wheat, and tobacco. A bow at the bottom ties the mix together, and in mint state 70, the least expensive variety, is worth about $450. There you go. There you go. There's the Indian head right there. Laurel wreath, small reverse cent. Small cent, this date is a 1-year type coin, so it's a must-have for your cent type collection. Fortunately, more than 36 million of these were minted, so this date is plentiful in all grades. That's 1859, and that is a beautiful specimen right there. That is gorgeous, absolutely. I see, look, you click this and it doesn't even get larger. Why even do it? All right, it says here, designed by James B. Longacre, the obverse shows Liberty with an Indian headdress, whereas the reverse has a laurel wreath right there, a laurel and hearty handshake. CM values are $20 for an F12, $115 for an extra fine, $340 for a mint state 60. There you go. A search on eBay turned up 963 results, none of which were in F12. They were, however, several in extra fine 40, priced around $110, which seems about right. We don't know what the look at this. The grades, look at this, are getting a little better. Mint State 63 were listed, 3 of them, and prices were reasonably close to CM's $750 value. Not bad, not bad. And it's a beautiful strike on that coin. Number 10, remember there's 17, there's like a bunch more. 1860 and 1864 Indian head, copper, nickel, small cent. And then 11 is 1864 to 1909 Indian head, bronze, small date, small cent. That's right. I think the Indian head ones are the ones to own so far. Right? If I was gonna start any of these typesets right away, I would go for the Indian head first myself. Now there you go. That's a familiar one to most of us, if not all of us. That's the 1909 VDB, Victor David Brenner reverse small cent. This is another 1-year type coin. You can see right there the Victor David Brenner right there, the initials. The Mint didn't like that. They were like, "Hey, you got to take that off." And he's like, "All right, geez, all right." This is another 1-year type coin, and there are only 2 possibilities, one from the Philadelphia and one from San Francisco. Fortunately for the type collector, nearly 28 million were coined in Philadelphia, and many were removed from circulation as souvenirs. This early removal was also true for the San Francisco Mint, but with a mintage of 484,000, it is the big key to the series. That's right. You have the VDBS. That's the winner chicken dinner. Right, there's some prices for them right there. Number 13, 1909 to 1958 Lincoln. That's the wheat ears, reverse small cent right there. That's number 13. Number 14, yeah, that's the zinc coated one, I believe. That's right there. That's the steel cent as we know it. 1943 steel small cent. In order to conserve copper for the war effort, the planches were changed from bronze to zinc coated steel, producing another 1-year type coin with nearly 500 million cents produced. This is another inexpensive type, but I'll tell you what, they look UGLY. Ain't got no alibi right there when those get brutal. They look really bad. Like, ooh, yeah. I have one that's pitted. I think I even have one of those 1943s with a D over D air on it. It's kind of cool, actually. Number 15 is a 1959 to 2008 Lincoln Memorial reverse small cent. Billions of Lincoln cents with Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial reverse have been produced, and you could take your pick of dates for your type collection, as they're all inexpensive and in high grades too. You can still find some easily in Mint State 65. It says, oddly enough, I found a huge discrepancy in pricing of the Lincoln Memorial cents. According to CM, in Mint State 65, they're worth anywhere from $2 to $26.50, not counting scarce varieties such as the 1972 double die obverse. Yeah, which one of those double die obverse? There's so many. By contrast, the 2019 Red Book values them below $1 a piece in Mint State 65 Red. That's probably not even realistic anymore. And then you've got here the number 16. That's right, the Lincoln Bicentennial 2009. You've got there the Homestead, the Early Life, and then I think the Governor, and then Presidential Life. And it's really a fantastic series. And I think the Mint made them in copper, if you did pick them up from the United States Mint website, not the bank right there. That's Lincoln Bicentennial Small Cent. And number 17, that's the last one, is the 2010 to date Lincoln Shield Reverse Small Cent, beginning in 2010. And you can pick up rolls of 2010 Lincoln cents to this day on eBay. There's enough collectors with enough foresight that they were like, hey, these are going to be special because it's the very first year of the Lincoln cent shield right there. Beginning in 2010, the reverse design was changed once again, according to a quote in the 2019 Red Book. The Lindahl bass reverse depicts an image emblematic of President Lincoln's preservation of the United States of America as a single and united country, with mintages in the billions. An example of this type of Mint State 65 lists for either 30 cents in the Red Book or $1.50 in CM. Certified examples sell for about $12 on eBay, and they're probably more than that now. And it says here, as you can see, you need to acquire only 20 different coins to complete a cent typeset, and it would be fantastic to actually get that one framed. It would be really easy to do. It says here, of course, actually getting all 20 is easier said than done, as the first few types are expensive, even in well-worn condition. Still, you have a very interesting set when you're through, and one you'll be proud of. That's right, especially if you're a completist, right? That's where you want everything, just all the holes filled in, even if they're not in the greatest condition, and one you'll be proud of. If you think this looks like a worthwhile way to collect cents, there's no time like the present to get started before, well, and I don't know if that's true now, because the hype for the Lincoln cent is just growing by the day, no doubt about it. But that's it right there. Collect all 17 U.S. type cents, and you can even go, like I said, to PCGS and look at Lincoln cent wheat reverse and the Lincoln cent moderns to find out which typesets you want to put together and which ones, well, to help you kind of price them out, right? Now let's go to the +1 action right about here. This is about boasters. That's right. One coin in a bottle rattles. The bottle filled with coins makes no sound. What do you think that means, right? Yeah, is it about somebody who's poor and somebody who's rich? It could be, right? Some people who are poor pretend to be rich, and some people are rich pretend to be poor. Yeah, what? Yeah, wrap your head around that one, right? Now let's jump over here to 39's Fine 99.9 KOI and Coin News Radio. This is Aerosmith, Dream On. That's right, Dreaming On. It's a great song. Dream until your dreams come true. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Numismatic News and Information from Son of a Silver Stacker. That's me, and I want to thank y'all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 15,000 subs. If you're a new viewer or returning viewer who hasn't subbed, please do that. We're trying to get to 15,000, and it's free. Remember that. What's not free is the membership. That's $1.99 per month. It's the price of a cheap or inexpensive cup of coffee, whatever adjective you like to use there, and it sure helps these videos keep coming out each and every single morning. That's like today, right? And it works out to about 6.6 cents per video in a 30-day calendar month. It's not a whole lot, and if it is, I hope your situation changes sooner than later. And look at all these fine, fantastic folks. They are all supporting the channel, and I do appreciate each and every single one of you. No doubt about it. No doubt. And I can probably say the names of each one of these people, too. Just one of those things. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Stacker out.